the sticking point on this all hinges around the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare.
Right. Yeah.
Is there concern that that's this time's issue,
Right.
and that because this has worked and has gummed up the
Right.
works of government as opponents of
Right.
Obamacare wanted,
Right.
that this will sort of become the model for the
I
future?
I think the President of the United States is absolutely right when he says, and I would feel the same way about this if it was George W. Bush was President of the United States and the Democrats were doing it. This is just, you can't have the President of the United States, the whole process, especially a bill that's passed the House, passed the Senate, signed by the President, and then deemed constitutional by the Supreme Court, and then one part of one of the three branches of government decides that they are unilaterally going to say, here's a gun to your head if you don't do this we're doing. This would not be right if it's Democrats were doing, this would not be right if Republicans do it. And the precedent that would be sent in terms of how we carry out our government would be, it would be a whole new constitutional approach to government. Everybody would wait until the debt limit came up and just say they're doing it. Now remember the debt limit, the thing to remember about the debt limit is everybody in the government has response for the debt limit, not defaulting on our debt. This is not a responsibility of the President, or the President and the Democrats shouldn't be the ones fighting to get the debt limit passed. This is something that everyone in my 40 years, a vast majority of Republicans and Democrats thought should be done.
So you hear a lot of talk about the end game.
Right.
How is this all going to play out? What is the end game? What's going to be the solution? I'll ask you the $1 million question, I guess. How does it get solved?
And I want to tell you, exactly the way we started this interview, we are totally in uncharted waters. Anyone that tells you that they know what the end game is going to be just really does not know what they're talking about. Now, I think one thing that could happen, the most likely thing I think, but I wouldn't give it a very high probability because I don't know what's going to happen, is that what's going to happen is there are a majority of members of the House of Representatives now that want to pass a clean continuing resolution, get the government back working, and want to increase the debt limit. There are about 25 House Republicans have said they'll vote for that, and with the Democrats that would happen. The reason that's not happening, people say, well, why don't they just have it for vote and have it pass, is because the Republican caucus, the Republican members of the House of Representatives, have a rule called the Hastert Rule, which is named after former Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert. And the rule says we will never bring something to the floor unless a majority of Republicans support it. So if a majority of Republicans are opposed to bringing something to the floor, you don't bring it to the floor. Now, Speaker Boehner, 3 times in the last year, has broken the Hastert Rule. He'd broken the Violence Against Women Act, he'd broken the fiscal cliff, and I can't remember what the third reason was. So the most likely thing is what's going to happen is the President's going to bid, and then Speaker Boehner is going to say, we're going to have a vote, just a straight up vote in the Senate, a House, a bunch of options, let's A, B, C, D, and then the one get to F, and F says, because I don't think any other ones will pass, you get to F, and F says, we're going to pass a continuing resolution, we're going to pass to fund the debt, and we're going to set up to have meetings begin right after this is over to deal with the budget and how we should be dealing with the budget. I think that's the most likely thing to happen.
Kick the can down the road another 3 months and
well, no, I think hopefully not. But the point is better. We're at the point now. Kick the can down the road as opposed to destroying constitutional government as we know it. So kick the can down the road for 3 more months. I don't think anybody wants to go through this again. And clearly, as I say, this was this. Now that it's out, you can see that it was something that was planned by the former Senator Jim DeMint Heritage Foundation. They got together, and Senator Ted Cruz, a brand new senator from Texas, got together with some folks in the House of Representatives, a lot of folks in the House of Representatives, said, what we're going to do, we're going to tie the Obamacare, which is popular is not popular, and we'll win. Well, they made a big mistake. And the big mistake was the Americans say, okay, I may not like Obamacare, but I sure as heck don't want to hold that up. It's passed the House and Senate. And lest people think that this is totally partisan, we have an exact example of the same thing happening when George W. Bush was president, and that was on the prescription drug programs under Medicare. Passed the House of Representatives without a single Democratic vote, passed the Senate without a single Democratic vote, signed by the president. And the Democrats never went back and said, we should relitigate this, we should open this up, we're going to hold it hostage. None of those kinds of things. So this is what you call settled law. If you want to come again and say we should rescind it, introduce the bill in the House, introduce the bill in the Senate, go through the process. This was not something that was forced on the American. I hear on something on the radio, forced on the American people. No. It passed the House and Senate with some of the president. It's part of the constitutional. People that value the Constitution know that all the constitutional I's and T's were dotted. The fact that you don't like it is not a reason to hold the rest of the country hostage for it and create a situation where the government, it brings the government down.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Senator Ted Kaufman, former United States Senator. We, of course, value your opinion. Thank you for your insight.
Thanks for having me.
Are you sure you don't want to get back down there?
No. Hey, by the way, the Senate was a great place, and I really enjoy working there. It's a tough time, but look, these are hard questions, and if you're interested in public policy and interested in the country, there are plenty of people who, we want to make this work out. We want to be there and work it out. It just was my time was, it was time for me to pass the baton on to the next generation of people for the Senate. So no, it's a great place, and it was a great institution. Our founding fathers were brilliant in what the founding fathers and mothers were brilliant in what they put together. But it's just going through a difficult time.